Telling stories is one of the oldest art forms in the world and still one of the most powerful ways to connect both children and adults. Joining me now is Tom Lee, a storyteller. Welcome to the show. We've never had a storyteller on before.
I'm glad to be the first.
I like this. First, let's start off. How did you get involved in this?
I love telling stories, and I've researched traditional stories, German stories, and I started telling people about the stories I was researching, which is only that far away from telling people stories. I was telling a story, or telling about a story once when I was running with a friend, and she suddenly stopped, and I thought she'd hurt herself, and I said, "What's the matter?" And she said, "What happened next?"
She was so into it.
She was hooked. So
what type of stories are we talking about here?
I tell traditional stories. There's lots of storytellers. You might be surprised. There's lots of storytellers out there in the world. The stories that I tell are very old, 500 years old, 1,000 years old. I have a story from a cuneiform tablet that's 5,000 years old. Wow. But I can tell it to a third grade class in Bridgeport, and it's immediate. It's happening right now. So they really do transcend. I like that you say you talk about stories that are trending now. I talk about stories that are trending for 5,000 years.
All right, and you create a powerful connection between kids, right?
Absolutely. It's this eye-to-eye contact where I'm presenting this whole other world, the realm of magic and transformation and incantation, that they lose any sense of it being false or fake. I told a story once, and a little boy looked at me at the end and he said, "I forgot that wasn't happening to me."
Oh, he was so into it. That's interesting. You have a story about parsley. We were just talking about that.
We were looking at the parsley. You never know when a story is going to happen, but I was reminded of Rapunzel. Now, everybody knows Rapunzel as the girl in the tower with the long hair that flows down to the ground. But there's a whole backstory to Rapunzel. And in Italy, when the story was first told in Italy, her mother was pregnant and craved parsley.
Okay.
And she couldn't get it. And the only parsley that she could find was in the garden of a witch. And they were terrified of the witch, so they went to steal the parsley. And Italians believe if you can't get the food you crave while you're pregnant, your child will be born with a birthmark of parsley, or whatever it may be. So the witch gives them the parsley, but in return, what does she get in exchange?
The hair, right?
No, she gets the baby.
Oh, the baby.
It's not a very good trade.
No, that's not very good at all.
She takes away the baby, locks her up in the tower, and her hair grows down to the ground.
That's what happens. That's the whole story. All right. Let's talk about how attention spans are getting shorter, especially in children.
Let's talk about it, but I don't believe it.
You don't?
In fact,
there's so many distractions, though, no?
Attention spans get shorter if we assume they're going to be shorter, and we're giving them all this technology. I sit with kids for 35 minutes, 40 minutes, 45 minutes. No commercials, no interruptions, no distractions, just a single voice and a single story. And they come out of it like they've been in a kind of a trance, and they have absolute attention for that 45 minutes. So I don't believe it.
All right, very good. You're going to be around town. People can come and hear you talk at different libraries.
Yes, summer library programs are terrific. Connecticut has lots of great programs in the summer. And just next Wednesday, on July 25th, I have this little marathon.
You're going to be all over.
I'm going to be at Guilford Library, Stratford Library, and the Northford Library all in one day. These three librarians are great friends, and we all kind of got together and put this day together.
And what type of stories are you going to be telling?
I'll be telling folk tales and fairy tales, and I like to look at the audience that I have. A library audience is, a school audience, you sort of know the age you're going to get.
Sure.
A library audience, it's come what may. So I'll have little kids and big kids. I'll have the sort of hostage teenagers who are there. Maybe don't want to be there, but they usually love the stories once they hear them. So I look at who's there, and I tell this, maybe there'll be parsley in the room.
You never knew you could tell the parsley Rapunzel story. Tom, where can people find more information about you?
My website is www.tomleestoryteller.com, and I'd love to hear from people.
All right, Tom, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right.